Hello, one of our new additions to the home. You might have seen this on one of our other videos. This is an Anthurium cavallii, I think is how you pronounce it. I called it an it, but I decided it's a boy, this one. Beautiful, well, sort of flowers. These things here, which kind of we probably refer to as flowers, actually it's almost like an ornamental leaf, a spathe, that's kind of highlighting this spike of tiny flowers. So the flowers are there, but they're tiny, tiny little things on this spike. Whatever you call it, it makes a beautiful glossy leafed houseplant that isn't really a houseplant. And we call these things houseplants, but of course actually they grow naturally in the jungle or in very warm, humid climates. Not like what we have here in Wales, where it's too cold, obviously, to have it outside, particularly in the winter. So we bring it into the house and call it a houseplant. But the atmosphere in our homes, particularly as we go into autumn and winter when we put the heating on, it dries up the air. And bear in mind that in the rainforest, where these things grow naturally, it could be kind of 80% humidity. I've been to the rainforest, and within minutes you're soaked in sweat because of the humidity there. I'm not used to sweating, whereas in the house it's probably half that humidity, maybe less than half of that humidity, because the central heating dries up the air, which is why we often hear about people coming into us in the garden centres talking about kind of brown scorch marks on their leaves that maybe just kind of got dead areas and just don't look very happy. More often or not, if it happens this time of the year, it's to do with the heating going on. The danger is then that we think we've got to give it more water, so we pour water onto the compost. A lot of these plants do not like to be wet around the roots, particularly this time of year when they're going dormant. One of the most common causes of problems with houseplants is through overwatering. I remember seeing in a garden centre a sign saying houseplants can't swim. It's very true. So you need to get this situation where somehow we get humidity around the leaves, but the roots can dry out a bit and not be waterlogged. How do we do that? Well, you could, I'm showing you, you could mist the plant with a fine mist of water. That's one way of doing it. But what we've done just today is we've used some expanded clay granules. So, let's put this here a minute. Here in the UK, this is sold as hydroleca, and that's what it looks like. I'll do a close-up photo there if you can. Okay, so these basically are very, very porous granules that will absorb the water and then release it gradually. So I've bought myself a bag of this, and I've been going around the houseplants in the house, putting hydroleca in the bottom of the pot. Now what we're going to do is we're going to place our pot on top of that hydroleca. I'm going to pour some water into here, but the water level is going to be kind of maybe that far up, so there maybe a centimetre of water, but we've got slightly higher level of the hydroleca. That means that when the pot sits in there, it hasn't got its roots stuck in a puddle of water, which it won't like because houseplants can't swim. But what it will have is a little pocket of water which will gradually evaporate, and as that humid air rises out of the clay granules and out of that puddle of water, what happens? It makes its way up through the leaves and provides this plant with exactly what it's looking for, which is that humid air. So I'm going to sit him in there. I'll pour some water in, not too much, and just allow that water to be soaked into the granules and then to gradually evaporate up. A little pocket of humid air to make this feel like home from this rainforest plant. So if your houseplants suffer over the autumn and the winter, maybe it's because the roots are too wet and the air is too dry. A little bit of this clay granules at the bottom, water sump, roots dry, leaves humid, happy plant.